All right, this afternoon I'm out here. This is more of a thank you video for Aquavitae. Oh, he had a 6 months, maybe not that long, 4 or 5 months ago, he had one of his contests, and I did well, and so I got the Deanston Decennary. He asked me what I wanted, so I requested the Deanston Decennary from him, 46.3%. And he also included Springbank 12 Cab Franc with it, which that's gone. This is the last little bit of this Deanston Decennary, and I milk it as best I can. It's not something I will give a rating to, for the simple fact that, if I can open it even, that I'd like to get to know the bottle a little more. You know, if I had a bottle, maybe this was just a sample of one that I had got to know a little better at one point, so I already knew what I was getting into, even with the sample size. That's a different story, because maybe I don't want to invest in a whole nother bottle of it. In this case, it's nothing I've ever had before. It's very good, and I love his little saying here on the bottom of it. Now you guys won't be able to see it, but it says, "It's not whiskey until it's shared. A gift to the whiskey scout from Aquavitae." Roy, you're a good man, a scholar and a gentleman. Thank you. It's a hard one to put I want to be honest, this one's a hard one to understand. It's good, but it has a lot of little things that occur. And it makes it hard to pin down. I'll be really honest. This is one where a full bottle would make so much more sense. There's a little sherry note in it. You get the classic maltiness that a Deanston gives you. There's a little citrus note in it. It's cold out here, so it's going to suppress the smells a little bit, especially on the nose. Those are the main things I get up front, and it hasn't varied much from when I've opened it, but it's very subtle. It's not a very bold, dominating, in-your-face whiskey. This is a very subtle one. Sherry notes. Lots of good sherry notes on this one. A little bit more of a fresh sherry. It's not to my palate a Macallan or a Abelard style old musty sherry. It's more of a lively and more of a fresh sherry. Almost not quite a port, but somewhere in between there. Maybe it's a wine barrel they use. But to me, it's a light sherry. It's a lighter sherry note. It's very good. It's very encompassing on the palate, but it's not dominating. You get all the notes, but it's not like a Macallan or an Abelard or a Buna, where it's just blowing out your senses. It's more of a complete but subtle, thorough coating of the palate. No alcohol at all. None. It's still, the little dab I had is still going on, but it's like I said, it's such a distant, I don't know. It's very good stuff. It's very fascinating stuff. It's very good stuff. This is an easy drinking scotch. If I had a bottle of it, this would not last. This is delightfully light and very tasteful. Very, very tasteful. appeals to my palate in a lot of ways. I'm trying to think of a lighter sherry that really kind of matches this profile. And off the top of my head, I'm striking out. Shoot. It's oh, the nose is changing now. That 30-year-old I had, Deanston, it was sherry finished, but it was a little bit more bold flavored than this one. A little bit more deeper flavor sherry than this one has. I'm going on too long. I know you guys, this is a moment though. This is a good moment. It's its own profile, but you know, they use a sherry combination cask in Glengarry 12. Now you get a little bit more rich malty notes in the Glengarry 12 than you do in this. But the sherry profile in that Glengarry 12, especially after it's been open maybe 3-4 months and maybe half the bottle's left, the Glengarry 12 gets better as that bottle drains. It's really an I don't want to say underpriced because I don't want to check up the price, but it is an overperforming Scotch as it goes through it. It just gets better and better, and for the price, it's unbeatable. I mean, for what we get it for around here, 45 to 50 bucks, you can't go wrong. But we're having the same kind of basic note factor here as when it gets into that bottle on it, and it's not a complete sherry finish. And that's the closest one I can come to. I'm sorry it took a while to reach that moment, but that's about the closest I can nail to it off the top of my head. I mean, if I go down there and I open up bottles and I start sampling, I can do it, but I'm not into doing that. That's not something I want to do today. Anyway, thank you, Roy. Thank you very much. I appreciate this gesture. I appreciate the sample. Again, you're a scholar and a gentleman. And I'll finish by saying, remember, spirit in your glass isn't running from you, everybody. Take your time, sip and enjoy it. You'll be better for it, and your experience will be better for it too. So everyone, have a good afternoon.